Raceview Network's Weekend Wrap-Up is sponsored by the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Racing Association, the American Quarter Horse Association, and by Remington Park Racing Casino.
Hello and welcome to Raceview Network's Weekend Wrap-Up. I'm Jim Byers. Ruidoso Downs featured a pair of $1 million Grade 1 races over the weekend. The Ruidoso Futurity was Sunday's headliner, while the Derby on Saturday brought out last year's AQHA champion 2-year-old Jess Good Candy. Let's start with the Futurity. 30 trials over 2 days last month set the field to go 350 yards. The purse is exactly $1 million. Number 4, Ms. Maggie May was the fastest qualifier, but she's the 5 1/3 choice. The 9 5 favorite, off just one strong trial win, is number 3, A Revenant.
They're running in the Ruidoso Futurity. Mojo Perry came away well to the inside, so too did Tough to Be. Into the middle of the track, a Political Chad in at the rail, cash in Corona. A Political Chad on the far side, just paint your wagon. Back to the inside, Tough to Be. A Revenant's coming on late. A Political Chad, a Revenant, a Political Chad.
Apolitical Chad was no surprise. He tipped his hand with a dominating trial win, and as the second wagering choice, holds off A Revenant by a head under Adrian Ramos. Owned by Nueve Racing, Apolitical Chad was a $38,000 Ruidoso yearling purchase by Apolitical Jess out of the productive Shazoo mare Fast Price Tracy. Apolitical Chad was bred by Wetona Stanley and William Smith in Oklahoma. Wes Giles, the trainer, as Apolitical Chad collects $420,000 in this richest running of the Ruidoso Futurity. A Revenant second, with Tough to Be third. The time 17.690 seconds. Those just missing out on the Futurity also raced on Sunday in the $100,000 Ruidoso Juvenile, 350 yards, for the 5 fastest non-qualifiers from each day of the trials. In the capper of a highly successful weekend, jockey Ivan Carnero and trainer Clint Crawford teamed for a decisive win with Apolitical Scout. This Oklahoma-bred filly was a strong second to A Revenant in her trial by Apolitical Jess out of the Corona Cartel mare Swingin' Cartel. She was bred by Dan and Louise Jones and is owned by Preston and Karen Cloud. Final time 17.751 seconds. The Ruidoso Derby was the week's biggest contest for 3-year-olds, but not to be overlooked is the Mr. Jess Perry Stakes on Saturday at Ruidoso Downs. This is a $100,000 invitational at 400 yards, with preference given to the 10 fastest non-qualifiers from the Derby trials. Number 1, Secret Zoom, was dismissed at 15 1, but finished well on the inside to win under Adrian Ramos. Bred in New Mexico by Gabriel Gomez Barnola, this colt is by no secrets here out of the Shazoo mare Sazoom, owned by Valle Guadiana Corporation and trained by Juan Gonzalez. The time 19.877 seconds. Coming up, we'll show you the Ruidoso Derby and have more stakes winners from Canterbury and Retama Park.
My 40 saved me $500 on this Ford truck.
My 40 gives me a year of good reading.
My 40 makes me a thrifty shopper.
My 40 colors my world.
Your $40 American Quarter Horse Association membership provides hundreds of dollars in benefits and services. To find out what your 40 can do, visit AQHA.com.
Last year's champion 2-year-old Jess Good Candy had a successful return to the races this spring after going 4 for 4 in 2015. He faced his first graded test this year on Saturday in the $1 million plus Grade 1 Ruidoso Derby at 400 yards. Jess Good Candy was the 5th fastest qualifier, but was installed the 3 5 favorite from post 10.
Running in the Ruidoso Derby, and a great break from all. Jess Good Candy came away fast, but is floating to the outside fence. Back toward the inside, Volcom May. Middle of the track, a Political OK. Just went by Big Lou, and it's Jess Good Candy. Here comes a Political OK. Volcom May to the inside, but Jess Good Candy wins the Ruidoso Derby.
Another fantastic showing from Jess Good Candy, cruising to a length and 3/4 victory under Ivan Carnero. Bred by the late Carl Peavy House in Oklahoma, Jess Good Candy is a colt by Good Reason S.A. Out of the Mr. Jess Perry mare, Jess Send Candy. Now 7 for 7 with earnings just exceeding $2 million. Jess Good Candy races for PV Quarter Horse Farms, LLC. Clint Crawford, the trainer. Volcom Bay, the runner-up, a neck better than Apolitical OK. The time, 19.477 seconds. On June 10th and 11th, Delta Downs had trials for 200 granders, the Firecracker Derby and Grade 2 Firecracker Futurity. In the Derby trials, the top 2 qualifiers ran 1-2 in the same race. TLC Dale, trained by Adrian Huitron, connects by a half length in 19.578 seconds for 400 yards. First Fancy Prize, runner-up in last year's Firecracker Futurity, stopped the clock in 19.654 seconds. In Saturday's Futurity trials, Marvelous set the fastest clocking of 17.689 seconds for 350 yards. This Martine Trejo trainee holds off Leave of Famous Memory, who qualified 6th. The Futurity final is July 2nd, while the Derby goes on July 1st.
Oklahoma Quarter Horse Racing Association encourages the breeding and ownership of Oklahoma-bred horses, promotes and protects racing opportunities in the state, and represents our members' interest at the state capitol. Learn more at oqhra.com.
Raceview Network's Weekend Wrap-Up is sponsored by the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Racing Association, the American Quarter Horse Association, and by Remington Park Racing Casino.
So that wraps up this edition of the show. Join us next week when we'll have action from Indiana Grand, plus a biggie from Los Alamitos, the Grade 1 Ed Burke Million Futurity. I'm Jim Byers. For the entire staff and crew, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Raceview Network's Weekend Wrap-Up.